Hello and welcome to the new season of SFR here tonight. It is a weird start to the season in Spain. I don't think I've ever seen that in a calendar before, but it will be a lot of fun. Spain, one of the oldest tracks on the F1. This classic Spanish track, just in the suburbs of Barcelona. It's an absolutely amazing track and is always been it's been a classic track. It may not have produced the best racing in real life, but always has produced amazing racing in SFR. Obviously tonight the new season underway, new cars, as 20 drivers will take on the challenge to become GP2 or Div2 even champion. So we see a few drivers coming up now. As everyone out instantly, which is quite a change from last season. Mansell and Marquardt obviously are two leaders at the minute, both in the Haas. That will be an interesting pair in the season. Obviously Mansell quite quick, so is Marquardt on his day, who's also quick. There's a few drivers up and down the field, of course. Sonicor, the Div 1 last season he was, same with Cass. And Mansell, of course, he was Div 1 in the later stages of last season. Calvin was, I'd say, Div 1 pace in the early part and then just dropped off a little bit towards the end of the game. Still has a lot of pace on him though. Dan, not the quickest driver, but the most consistent in the field in my opinion. He will be one to watch this season. I honestly think Dan is one of the favourites to the championship in my opinion, due to how consistent he is with his performances. Like he won't get as many wins as some other drivers, but he'll get loads of podiums, loads of fourth places throughout the season. As Keeps, I believe, it will be first. It should be Mansell. Mansell will get us underway this season with the first flying lap of the SFR season. Into turn one, a very sweeping right left. Chicane, then through turn three, very long. The tyres are just screaming as the end of the sector just is right there. 21.7 through sector one. Again, another long right. Into turn 5 and down towards the kink at 6 and the chicane at 7, always hard to master. You don't want to hit the curbs too much because you will spin. You don't want to hit that social curve too much and you will go round. Through turn 9 now, the long right. Yeah, that's wide open, heading down towards one of the hardest corners on the circuit. A nice long left with a late apex or an early apex. You don't want to get on that pace too much because you will spin. As you head round the final sweeper. Don't want to get on the power too early again because you will spin downhill right towards a flat out last corner. Little lip for Mansell even, sorry. It is just a little lip. The RS wide open and up to the line. Mansell will set our first lap of the SFR Season 15 season with a 1:12.8. Wasp will be the next one, a 1:12.2. Mansell's teammate with a 17.1 there. As who's next? Noldus. He's followed by Matt G. 12.3 and a 12.5, 12.8 and a 13.1 for just Logan. I believe Dan. There we go. Dan, 5 cents off his teammates. Still quite respectable for a first lap. As one of the Astons I can see coming around, one of the Mercedes coming up towards the line. Fred, one of the OWR boys coming through. Calvin on an outlap. Cass on an outlap. Vicker on a fast lap. Vicker goes to P9 now. One of the Alpines. That should be Keefs. Keefs to the line. It'll go. I think that might have been an outlap. That was my fault. One of the other Alpines. There we go. Doran. SFR Doran. P4 at the minute. 4 tenths off of pole. The over Alfa Romeo of where is he? Mr. Wheels on a lap. Just starting a lap even. As Sonicor comes to the line to start his first lap of the new season. Casco and purple sector one according to the timing charts. As it should be a Ferrari of Gitolodium. Or is it... Might season to the pits. It'll be Mindful Wasp starting on the lap. Both McLarens in. Gisselodian in. Aston Martin of Bossy though has some pace in him, this lad. Up to the line. There's that pace that I'm on about. 2/10 faster than Mindful Wasp is the nearest one to him. Calvin next. Has some pace on his day. Let's see what he can set. It looks like it's going to be P9 for him. Cass, former Div 1 driver last season, of course. He goes to P3. Sonic Hawk. And it's going to be Mr. Wheels and then Sonic Hawk to crash the line. Unless there's a Alpine on a lap, which there is not. There's an Alfa Romeo there. Oh, that was close to hitting two Alfa Romeos. Nearly hitting each other in the final corners. Up to the line, Mr. Wheels goes P5. Even with a little bit of blocking, I would say Gogs to the line, no. It'll be Sonic Hawk next. Pred starting the lap as well. Sonic Hawk to the line. P9 for Sonic Hawk. As I believe Wasp is on a lap, or on a charge, he's on a charge. You can see it all charged up there. Keith's might be in a low lap. He's on a charge as well. Martha Wasp starting his lap, P2, looking to reclaim that pole. Down to turn 1. Turn 2, nice on the throttle there. Turn 3, nice. Round. Perfect there for Martha Wasp. Let's see what he can set through sector 1. Down on his time. A little on the exit there, could have maybe carried a little bit more speed. As just ran this back here, but that was perfect for Michael Wasp there. Didn't scrub too much speed and did not lose did not lose any time through there. Heading through towards turn 10. A 10th down. Don't think these tyres are working for him anymore. Round turn 11. Johnson down towards the line. Here comes Michael Wasp on a used set of tyres, of course, and he's going to go just a little bit slower, about a 10th slower than his last time, but that does not matter, of course. Adam's going fastest there. Obviously pole position in Baku last season. To the line, Adams goes P7. Crab. Not on a lap, that was my bad. Mansell though, he looks to be on a lap at 10th up. As Mansell will come round in the final two corners, down right, slightly up left, and to the line. Mansell will get into P8. Nobody on. Oh, Dan going slow there for a Ferrari. Of Gisselodian on a lap. Dan might be on an in lap or a charge. It's maybe made a mistake through turn 1 or turn 2. As let's see, Ukash. Oh, where's Ukash? Where's on a lap? Can't find anyone on a lap. So let's just go back to Dan. Currently P13 on a lap. Start a lap even. Has a nice toe from Gisselodian. Gisselodian is on a lap himself. Oh, down. That's worked out pretty well for Dan there. He wouldn't have lost too much time through that turn 1 and 2 section with fresh tyres out. Ah, half a 10th down. But Could be worse, could be a few tenths down, but well, I'm trying to find anyone on a lap. Oh, Car's there, it's P7. Didn't notice he was on a lap, thought he was on an in lap. Both McLarens starting a lap as well here, as Sonic starting a lap as well. Down half tenth up, DRS wide open down the back straight. Let's see what he can do. He's a 10th up purple. So it needs to go about 6 tenths fast through the final sector to get that provisional pole. Let's see what he can get down. P14 at the minute. Through turn 13. Just had a little lag there, but never mind. Here comes Dan to the line. 2 P11. Trying to cork. Ellie as well on a lap. Someone's jumped up the order. That was the Vicar. 8 tenths. Even Martin. Welcome to the stream, everyone as well. Forgot to say that. Noel just on a lap in P4 at the minute. This is going to be an absolute stonking time. He's going to go into the 11s. He's going to be the first driver to crack the 11s, barring any catastrophic spins or failures in this final 2 corners. Don't want to hit that curve too much, or this curve. Oh, it's a little wide, but you know what? He might get away with it, as it's a short run to the line. And you know what? He's the first one into the 11s by 2 tenths to Bossy. Brilliant for Noldus. As Wiggles starts a lap as well, as I don't see anyone on a lap. Might have lost on an out lap. Dan on an in lap maybe. See, Dan maybe on an in lap or a charge. See, just Lodian. Might be a in lap for just Lodian as well, but it looks like he's using ZRS. So he'll go up to the line. And let's see what just Lodian can get. A short run to the line, of course. This time it's into the 112, but it's only going to be P16 for Gisselodian, as there's an AlphaTauri starting a lap. That is Mindful Wasp, who is a shimmy for pole. Wiggles going slow there. Clearly trying to charge his battery for one last run or pitting in. Bossy pulling over. He was up on his time apparently, but might have spun. Oh, nearly hitting the wall there, Bossy on the entry to the pit lane. Alpha Male Mr. Wiggles starting a lap. Let's check his battery. Not enough, he might be pitting. Oh, you don't want to do that, Wiggles, you'll bottom out. Let's see, up and down the grid, Adams is going to start a lap. Mad G on a lap, here we go. Mad G. Season 12 or season 13. Champion in Div 2 / GP2. As, let's see what he can get done tonight in the first race of the season. Through the final corner. Mad G to the line. It's gonna go. Not improvement. It's an improvement, but it's not enough of an improvement to get a decent enough. As there we go, man for Wasp there. Just mixing out on pole. Didn't notice him until the last second. I couldn't get to him. As there's yellows out for Gisselodian. As Adams is the only guy on a lap right now. So it's right on board with him. Looking good through sector 1 and into sector 2 here. Nice through there for Adams. Oh, that was perfect. That was brilliant. There we go, 5 tenths up for Adams. That'll be into the 11s. If we can keep it clean. Oh, a little wide there. But you know what? It might. Oh, that'll cost them a few. Maybe a 10th minimum. As there we go, Adams through the final corner. Opens the DRS, and you know what? That could have been into the 11s, but just a slight mistake. But P4. And might have enough time to get back into the pits and do another lap. As Cass, the only driver now on a lap. Mad G retires, that's it for him. P12 is the best he will get. But with everyone behind him going out at the minute, by the looks of things, everyone going out behind him. No, Dan, Preb, Ellie and Mark are all going out for one blast to try and beat him and get even higher on the grid. As Class 3 Sector 1. Nice on the through the chicane, uphill chicane. As the uphill right, really off camber sometimes. Oh, that looked like a spin. No, it was just a glitch there as he's a 10th up. Class. Class is looking good through Sector 2 and down the right hander and down again through the final right hander. You can see the big hill on the straight. P3 for Cax. What's that lap for the Scot? The literal Scot, of course. Scott the Scot. Mansell on a lap. No, it was his teammate Mark starting the lap. As Ellie is going to be first to finish their lap, unless it's Dan. It's Dan. Wasp looks like he's done for the evening in terms of quality. Unless that's him coming out right now. No, that's a Red Bull. P8 for Energy Dan, and he has knocked Maggi down to P13, or lucky 13 at the minute for Maggi, going on an outlap with Mr. Wiggles on a fast lap. Oh, that's very wide. That's very, very wide, and he's going to have to save a little bit of fuel and a little bit of energy to get one more lap in. There's a McLaren behind us, an Aston Martin just starting a lap as well, and there's a Haas on a lap, and that's Mark Quercy down at the bottom, 6/10 down, and it doesn't look like he's going to improve. Yeah, no improvement from Mark Quercy. He's got Preb behind him. And Preb goes to P6. Mark Quercy stays in P19. Is the Aston Martin of Bossy comes around the final corner. There's a Red Bull on a lap. That's Calvin. Oh, that's Doran. That's Doran in the gravel. There is a McLaren on a lap. That's an older 7/10 down apparently. That might be it for an older strength. So Michael Wasp has a good chance of hole. Cassidy into the pit lane, of course. No more laps for him. He's going to get, at best, a P3. Bossy on a lap as well. Michael Wasp. And Knowles in. So here we go. Michael Wasp. Got one for pole. It could be. See if he can get. Yeah, it's wide open down the main straight for him. Knowles retires. Aston Martin coming to the line. That's going to be not Bossy. It's going to be Sonic Hawk, who goes P12. Purple for Bossy in Sector 2. Keeps to the line, P7. Bossy is going to go. Adams as well. I don't know if he's finished this lap. No, he did not. He's going to get another lap in. There's Bossy to the line now, 10-4. Perfect through that final quarter. Quarter maybe took a little extra speed, and Bossy goes for his pole. Just by 18,000. And you know what? This will be really close. As here comes Michael Wasp. Through Sector 2, up the hill. Through Sector 2 there for Michael Wasp. Dan on a lap maybe as well. Dan at 10th up with that, and so is Calvin. Where's Calvin? P18 at the minute, P16 for Calvin. The two AlphaTauris are going to be side by side. It's P9 for Dan, P6 for Dan, sorry. P3 for Wasp at the minute. Walking into through this final corner, nice and clean. Michael Wasp to the line. It's going to be provisional pole as long as one of the Aston Martins can't do much. Sonic Hawk to P5. P7 for P6 for Adams, and that is it. That's it for qualifying. Wasp on pole by a 10th of a second. Brilliant for Michael Wasp. Foster Gaming in P2. Novus in P3. Cassidy in P4 with his drop down from Division 1. P5 is Sonic Hawk as well from Division 1. Good results for those two after a poor, not a poor season, a difficult season last season. Of course, P6. P7 is Adam. P8, Dan. P9, Preb. Keeps, Wiggles, and Vicar. P10, 11 and 12. P13 is Mansell, P14 is Mad G, Doran, Calvin, Gislodian and Ellie. P15, 16, 17 and 18, and 19th and 20th are Mark and Dogs. What an exciting end to quality that was. We'll see. Yeah, there's Wasp on pole by exactly 1.11. Not 1.11, 0.111. 3 ones for the number one. 4 ones for the number one even. Noldus just behind Bossy as well there for P3. The Norwegian coming very close to the Brit. As I'm going to go grab a drink for this race. I'm going to check chat, see if I missed anything while I went to grab a drink. Let me check the chat. I need to go onto the stream. So we just wait for everyone to join up. Calvin says a lot of work to do. Yeah, quite a bit of work to do for you, Calvin. But I'm sure you can do it. Of course, you are in Max Verstappen's seat, so we've seen him do a lot better from worse positions. And let's see. In the run down to turn 1, also known as Elf, it's gonna be interesting to see who comes out on top. Turn 1 and 2 switch back on each other. Usually the car on the outside might come out on top. It may be in the car on the inside because they've got 3 rights after that. As we're getting underway for the formation lap. I forgot that was back this season. As let us find the tyre choice for everyone. The hards, from experience, do not feel that good around this circuit, but mine for Wasp, Noldus, Sonic and Ukarsh, Dan and Preb all opt to use them in the top 10, of course. Mansell, Mad G, Gislodian, Ellie, Mark and Gogs all choose as well outside the top 10. It's quite a mixed one with Bossy. He's going to go for traction off the line with a medium set. Same with Cassidy, who is going to have a nice toe down for turn 1. P7 Adams and P10 Keeps on the mediums as well. Wiggles, Vicar, Doran and Calvin on the mediums as well. All of them, in my opinion, feel a lot better. So let's see what they can do. Tyres need to be nice and warm, as they will get cold as they run down to turn 1, of course, as well. as it is. Just rounds and turns, second 3 now. Gogs as well on the hards in last place. Quite a little bit back. Well, not that far back, but a little bit far back from Martha Wasp. So Martha Wasp's tyres might cool just a little bit. So let's see what will happen. Martha Wasp coming into position. This is going to be the interesting part. Who gets disqualified? If Bossy gets disqualified, if Wasp gets disqualified, that will be an interesting one. Bossy is... Oh, as I say that, Wasp is disqualified. Bossy is disqualified. Bossy is there. Sonic Hawk's disqualified. And Bossy is facing left. Mad G disqualified. Doran disqualified. Calvin disqualified. Gisselodian is fine. As we'll see, into turn 1. Michael Wasp on pole. 5 red lights. And away we go for the Spanish GP in season 15 of SFR. And Michael Wasp with the lead in towards turn 1. Bossy with a poor start, considering the advantage he had over him. Cass there going onto the grass to get past him, as there's 3 wide, and there's a little bit of contact. Is there contact further back? Going off the road there, that looks like Noldus. As Cass up to P3, and up the inside goes Adams on the pair of them, and Adams up to P3 now on the mediums as well. Wasp with a brilliant start, already a second ahead of Bossy, who had a poor start on those mediums. Cass still there fighting with Adams as his yellows, as that is a Alpine of Doran. Adams and Cass still fighting as Doran is spun off through the through Repsol turn 4. A second gap already for Michael Wasp. Bossy there in P2 for the Cass, Adams, and Dan and Uckart and Noldus, as there's more swapping behind as Sonic Hawk drops down the field as well. Preb there as he makes contact with Keith's, as there, that's Keith making contact with Prebs, and Mansell going through. So is Wiggles in towards the top 10. Sonic Hawk getting caught with that. Calvin up 3 positions as well off the start from P16. Nice. P17 even. Nice start for him. Michael Wasp with the fastest lap, as there's a few drivers in for damage. That looks like a Ferrari of Mad G and Aston Martin of Sonic Hawk, so they may have made contact with Durham. As Bossy trying to close in this gap. Dan says it's got a minute to him. Might just be a timing glitch, as it's all good. Wiggles there, P8 at the minute. P9 even, sorry, closing down P8. See what he can get done through through some of these corners as well. DRS enabled next lap. Bossy needs to get within that 1 second in the next 10 corners, otherwise he's not going to have it for the main straight or this straight that we're going down now. And he might be in range. Cassidy will definitely be in range of that Aston Martin. Of course, Cassidy racing that Aston Martin last season, now in the Red Bull. And you know what? He's gone really well through that final corner. And you know what? We will see as Bossy goes faster, Noldus goes faster, as he is chasing down Cass. Uckars chasing down them, and Dan is there too. Any battles up and down the field. Ellie into the pit lane for some damage maybe, as I think they're just all over for a bit of luck with the safety car. Let's see, is Cassidy now currently P3, P2 just up the road, and it does not look, unless a spin happens here, Michael Wasp, that he's going to get the DRS. Is Bossy going to get the DRS? Sorry, no, he is not. So Cassidy, down the main straight, will have a decent chance at taking P2 from SFR Bossy Gaming. See what he can get done. Down this straight, he needs to pull it in just enough to get a gap, to get close enough to make an overtake down the straight, and then pull out Vicker and Calvin there fighting for P12 13, as Calvin might have gone off the road, as it looks like he's gone a little wide and he's a little slow. Ellie and Mad G fighting a little bit down there through Seat. Or say that, I don't know how to say that corner name. As Cassidy goes a little bit wide, he might have picked up a warning there. Here he comes down the main straight. Not SFR Cassidy, it's Cassidy. And he's going to go into the lead, into P2 even, sorry. Here comes Adams. No, he's not going to get there. Cass trying to fend off the switch back from Bossy Gamer. He's going to switch back as well. Not going to work, as you know what, here comes Adams with the better exit and the better traction. Then Bossy pushing as well to get past Cass, and he's not going to get anywhere near the Red Bull. As Adams is closing to the back of that Aston Martin, as Bossy is also trying to close up to that Red Bull. It's all just going to be a bit of swapping as well. Spain being really hard on your ERS. You don't really want to use a lot of it in the early laps because you will not gain it back whatsoever. Because there's not much heavy braking zones. Only one I can really think of is turn 6. That's the only heavy braking zone that is on the track. Because the rest of them are light and it's not much you can do for your ERS here. Bossy Gamer will come right back at Castillo. No, he won't. He's going to go wide and he's going to let Evans in to P3 and on to the podium spots. And Nolders might have a little look here. Here comes Adams actually. He was having a look at Cassidy. Fred overtaken by the Vicar as well down there. As Mansell looking for P8 at the minute. P7 from Dan, who is looking for P6 from Ukarsh. Adams P3 at the minute. Of course, looking quite calm behind Cassidy. As it's all quite calm now, a few second gaps opening up. Michael Watts in cruise control on those hard tyres. Oh, there goes Bossy again. He's really struggling with the back end as Nolders now gets past it without even having to use that DRS. As we might see, and you know what, that's going to help Ukarsh defend from Dan and Mansell, as now he is in the DRS of Bossy Gaming. So Bossy Gaming clearly opting for a less downforce setup, as he is really struggling, as Dan might have struggled through that last sector a little bit, as he's nearly out of the DRS as well, of Ukarsh, who has actually used a lot of his DRS to get there. As Cassidy and Adams swap positions in towards turn 1. There's not going to be much swap positions through turn 2 or 3, as Bossy sliding again. You can just see that back end all over the place, as he's nearly going to go wide through the next corner as well, turn 3, and up to Repsol. It's not going to do much. Healthy's going to be destroying those mediums, as Cassidy is just going to have to hold on to Adams at the minute. As Ukarsh is right there. 2/10 from Bossy, who is struggling on his tyres and his back end. So there might be something up with either his setup or his cars, as he's lifting off quite a big bit there and still going a little bit wide. Here's the Aston Martin. Let's see what can happen down into us this next corner. Adams into DRS. Sonic Hawk fast as well. Michael Wasp might have to use a little bit of battery just to stay in ahead of a second of Adams. And you know what? He has just done it. Cassidy there, 7/10 off, won't have a move into turn 1. Nolders will have a move on Cass, as Cass has DRS, of course. Bossy there, struggling. Ukarsh behind. 4/10, 3/10, 2/10, both of them out of DRS. Here comes Dan. Turn 1, Dan past Ukarsh. Turn 2, bends the switch back off beautifully. And you know what? He is taking that P6, lovely, and he's going to be charging towards that P5 very, very shortly on those hard tyres. Nice move for Dan in towards turn 1. Came out of nowhere. Ukarsh and Mansell fighting now. Round the outside, because Mansell doesn't want to hit that grass, because you will go wide. Mr. Wiggles looking to pick up the pieces from this scrap as well. Mansell just sitting behind him, as Ukarsh has looks like he's struggling a little bit now as well, same as Bossy, who's kind of got his tyre troubles back under control. But still, Dan is quicker. Adams, again, nearly in DRS. 8/10, 9/10. A second just out of that corner, so it looks like down the straight and through that middle sector, that's where Adams is gaining. But in this final and first sector, that's where there's not a problem, as Calvin has gone off again. Right.
as Nolder's got past Cassidy as well. I did not even notice that. Cassidy conceding to Nolder's P3. Dan, Bossy, Dan. That is the other now. As Bossy trying to go for the undercut, makes some slight contact with the back of the Avatari, and you know what, he's going to make more contact. He's nearly hit the back of him and he's nearly slid it again. As here comes Mansell round the outside. Off the game, and this will be the move of the season if he gets this pulled off already. And you know what, it's so close. He needs to, and Dan, Mansell round the outside. What a move, as it's through right there, as Ukarsh off the track. Bossy shoved him off the track, and off going the track goes Ukarsh, and down to P10, P11. He was up into P5 at one point, now he's P11 after some questionable defending from Bossy there a little bit. But let's just wait for the stewards to make their minds on that. Mr. Wiggles now trying to poke his head at Bossy. There's Bossy trying to get closer. He's just pushing when he shouldn't be pushing. That's the thing on his tyres. They're dead. Don't push as much as you are, because it's just going to ruin them more and more, and you're just going to spin and lose more positions. There's all Wiggles. You don't want to hit that kid, mate. As he absolutely goes everywhere. As Adams and Nolder's now got positions for P2. Adams has conceded it. Bossy is really struggling as well. Yeah, there we go. Again towards turn 1. Dan defends beautifully against Mansell in the house. Ukarsh and Vicker fighting. As round the outside goes Vicker with a lovely move on that Williams. Bossy there, still struggling. Mansell, Wiggles is there, and Wiggles has got way more traction than him, and he's going to go round the outside where there was contact the lap before on the grass again. This time he decides, you know what, I'll back out. I saw what happened the lap earlier, and I'll take my time to get past you through the DRS. As Bossy struggling and kind of rasping for these positions now, battling for his life, when I think he might get it off just pitting and getting rid of them and trying the undercuts, or maybe even the 2-stop. As Bossy there is Noldus in the DRS now, and Noldus is going to get DRS for the straight. And for the first time this race, Mike Wasp will have to do some defending. As the DRS is wide open all the way down here, Mansell will have a nice run at Dan as well. Noldus into turn 1, not enough. Dan will not have enough straight. Will not have enough straight to defend. Will have enough straight to defend. I can't even say that. Mansell will have enough straight to get past. Dan doesn't have enough straight to defend. Ukarsh, Vicker fighting still through turn 3, up the hill, through Renault, and it's going to be close between these two. Ukarsh in towards turn 3, turn 4. Nothing is going to happen between him and the Vicker. Bossy still fighting in this little battle pack with Mansell. Noldus there, right behind Michael Wasp now, as we'll see. DRS wide open, and you know what, he'll go round the outside now, unless he's close to DRS early, and there's contact, slight contact. Adams is up the inside now, and there's more contact, and Adams has been dumped off of the track. Noldus and Michael Wasp fighting there, as Michael Wasp will get the DRS. Maybe even pull out another bit of a gap now, as he's getting the there, he's washed out a little bit wide. Here comes Noldus, here comes Michael Wasp, here comes Adams, here comes Michael Wasp, here he goes into turn 1, nice and simple. Here comes Adams, he's on a vengeance, as Noldus hits him a couple corners ago. Here comes Noldus, he's going to try the switchback, double switchback even, on the Alpha Tauri. Dan and Mansell fighting positions, Mark and Matt G fighting positions down there as well. Bossy wash it out wide again with the Wiggles behind them. There's Mansell there, still in P5, P6, trying to fight and get past Dan. Obviously, Mansell ex-director, Dan current director, it's a battle of the directors. Here comes Noldus, will he open his DRS at all to try and get past Michael Wasp here? I think he might, he will, and you know what, he's just going to go, nah, I'll stay behind you. I'll use the straight to get past you this time. I've wisely looked at your tactics. Mansell now, holding down. P6, Dan, little pointy there with the front end. There's Wiggles still chasing down Bossy again, as Mansell and Bossy both have a little bit of a snap through that final long right. As it's Wiggles now. Here we go. DRS for all of these drivers. Who will come out on top? It's going to be Noldus though, with Adams and Cass there. Didn't even notice those two fighting. Here comes Mansell, here comes Dan. In towards turn 1 and 2. Slight contact made. Bossy making contact. Here comes Wiggles up the inside, round the outside. And there goes Bossy again. Complete opposite lock on the tyres. On his steering wheel even was Bossy there, as he is fighting for his life to keep this position. Mansell there, Dan there, as Wiggles has kept this battle going through this left. Slight contact again. Wiggles cannot get it done this time. Noldus, Michael Wasp. Wasp defended brilliantly through turn 1 this time. Let's see what he can get done down the main string. Second time round. Adams, Bossy, 3-second time penalty for going wide at that turn 9 again, as another person going wide. That looked like it was Gogs. It was Gogs going quite wide through that final, not final corner, through turn 9. Bossy, our first person to pick up a pen. As Noldus will take the lead back from Michael Wasp. Michael Wasp in damage control. Can he stay ahead of Adams? He can just stay ahead of Adams. Dan cannot stay ahead of Mansell any longer, as Bossy pushing his absolute hardest to get past Dan here, but not enough to get him, as Upkarsh and Vickers still fighting for this last top 10 position. Gogs and Gisolodi are fighting as well. Oh, there was so close to contact there. And you know what, they've kept it clean, and fair play to the pair of them. They've kept it out of each other. As Wasp now, see what he can get done in this middle sector. As he's been in cruise control until a few laps ago, when Noldus finally broke the DRS gap that he had. Noldus might be using a bit of energy to try and get ahead of him, out of that DRS. Adams turning in quite early there, it's still Cass. Oh, that was a little slide for Wasp, for Michael Wasp. We don't want to be doing that too often. As we have a second lead now for Noldus, and that is it. Michael Wasp doesn't have the DRS. Adams is going to have an absolute field day with this now. Here we go, the DRS for one of them, DRS for two of them, DRS for not him. Down the straight, nothing there. Dan and Mansell still fighting. Wiggles and Bossy still fighting. As down in towards turn 1, it looks like Wiggles has got the edge on him this time. Bossy breaking late. Can he stay ahead? No, he's fought his fight and he's lost it this time. As Keith is now going to be the next one in line to overtake Bossy. Bossy fighting his absolute hardest to keep that position, and it nearly worked. And it's actually brought in Upkarsh and the Vicar into this fight now. As Adams is closing in on Michael Wasp as well. So Noldus with the gap in P1. Wasp in P2, with Adams in P3 and Cass in P4. As it's all kind of calmed down a little bit. Apart from this little battle where Dan is nearly out of the DRS of Mansell. Dan starting to struggle a bit on his tyres maybe. It actually looks like Mansell's got a lot of DRS. Fair play to him for saving a lot of it for this for the race. 15 laps in, nearly half distance. DRS for Dan might have just dropped out of it there. Keith and Bossy's in. There we go, Bossy finally blinks and picks his Dan. Just missed out on DRS. Here comes Wiggles. It doesn't look like he's going to go for the move into turn 1. No, he's not. He's going to go for the switchback. Double switchback. Triple switchback. Yep, triple switchback for Wiggles. And it might work. Down to turn 4. Here comes Wiggles round the outside. This more energy down. And he's going to go and not do it this time. But he gets the better exit than Dan. Oh, very close to contact between those two. Bossy down to P16 now. On those rods, he's got to make them last half a race at least. As we're nearing half distance in this 50% race on a Monday night. Doran getting overtaken by Bossy as he came up the pit lane. As Dan is now there. Here comes Wiggles. Here comes Wasp being overtaken by Adams. Adams is ahead of Wasp. Cass dives into the pit lane for the undercut. Here we go. The Scot is into the pits, literally. As Wasp will try and get back that P3 that he just lost moments ago. And he's going to go around the outside to do that. And he's going to do that. Not as this contact, and now Michael Wasp has to go off, takes the escape road. And it came out worse for wear from Adams as this up and down the field. Everyone's coming up. As Mr. Wiggles in as well, and Keith. Both of them into the pit lane at the same time to try and undercut those in front. As just loading there, P11, P10 for Calvin. As he chases down Gogs. Preb is there in P8. As Vicar is P7. Upkarsh there behind Dan, who is behind Mansell and Wasp and Adams. As DRS Wasp might be pitting soon, as we're about to hit halfway distance next lap. So if you make the mediums last 17 laps on lighter fuel as well, I think it's going to be a pit lane here, surely. It's soon enough for one of these two. Maybe Mansell or Dan. Obviously the later you pit, the better you'll come. You'll come off, I mean. Dan staying out, Upkarsh in. Vicar in, Preb stays out, Gog stays out, Calvin stays out, Just Loaded stays out, and Cassidy of course staying out with the DRS on the Ferrari with so much more traction than him, and he's just going to breeze on the straight past him. Nice and easy for the Red Bull as he now closes down his teammate Velocity with the fastest lap. A few seconds behind. And no, Cass started on the mediums, didn't he? I thought Cass started on the hards for a minute there. Cassidy P9 at the minute. As he chases down his teammate, already brought in a second on him. With Gogs up ahead as well. Maybe some communication between these two. Saying like, just let me through. Let me have the DRS and then let me through so I can get past. But we'll see. Here comes Cassidy right behind his teammate, and we'll see some good old Red Bull team play here as Calvin lets him through. I called that from a mile off, as to be fair you would if you're the faster on the newer tyres. Cash with a perfect second 2 there. He's going to be going for this fastest lap and this win. Let's see what he can get done versus Gogs down the main straight as well. He should get past them. He should claim the fastest lap. DRS wide of Cass. Gogs not going to defend. Cassidy fastest lap. Cassidy into P6 as he now chases down Dan and the leaders. Over half race distance now, with Noldus still out on those hards. Adams making those mediums last a long time. Same for Calvin. And we see the final people into the pit lane. That looked like Preb, who's came out a good few seconds behind the Vicar. As I don't know what else there is apart from, oh, here we go. Michael Wasp back in the DRS of Adams. Or Adams, I don't know. I really don't know how to say that. But let's see what they can do. Michael Wasp back in the DRS there, early back down to last place. Now lapped by her teammate. Michael Wasp DRS open, down the main straight. Will close in. Not close enough though. Keith and Wiggles, they're going to be fighting tooth and nail, of course. They're going to be the ones fighting for position here as they try and close in on Bossy Gaming. See what they can get done. Down into the pit lane now. Finally blinks on those 18 lap old hards. Fair play to Adams and fair play to Calvin. They have gotten. They've lasted longer than some hard runners. So fair play to them. As here we go, round the outside. Mr. Wiggles, no. Switch to the inside, no. Switch to the outside again, no. Back to the inside for Mr. Wiggles. Let's see what he can get done. Better traction. for the Alfa Romeo, up the hill towards turn 4, later braking for the Alfa Romeo, earlier on the throttle for the Alfa Romeo, and not enough for the Alfa Romeo, as Keith stays ahead in the Alpine. Bossy there, fighting Gisselodian for P8. Obviously not for position for Gisselodian, as Bossy on the newer tyres. Gisselodian yet to pit. Mindful Wasp in first of those front runners. As round the outside goes Bossy, and round into P8 goes Bossy. Mansell carries on. Adams carries on, of course, as well. Let's see, does Calvin... He does. Another lap for Calvin. Cassidy has jumped Mindful Wasp, obviously 4 laps. He might even come out in the... He will come out in the lead. Will Cassidy. As he starts to close down that leading car. Goggs now just ahead of Calvin, who is really pushing on those mediums, and fair play to him, he's going to try and go to the softs, I think. As so are all of these on the mediums and hards now. As, what else is there up and down the grid? Not much is happening up and down the grid, as Upkarsh and Keith have fought, and Upkarsh and Keith have swapped positions pretty comfortably for Upkarsh there, as he now pushes on to Wiggles. As Wiggles gets a little bit of help from Mark Querty, the DRS Ghost, as he will overtake him in towards these final few corners. As there we go, all 3 in. What did he pit onto? It's mediums for Nolders. It's going to be hard for Adams, of course, or softs. It's softs. He's going to risk it. Cassidy takes the lead of this race. 5 lap holds of tyres. Mansell as well onto the softs. That is a risk, and quite a big one. That Gogg staying out too. Calvin has stayed out another lap as well, and he's going to be overtaken twice by 2 drivers. That's going to be Wasp and Bossy, as Bossy is closing in on Wasp once again. As Wasp comes out 1 lap later, just behind the guy that he tried to undercut, and let's see if he can go around the outside, or up the inside. There is up the inside, and there's made contact, and that looked like a little bit of force off the track by Adams, but we'll let the stewards decide it, as around the outside goes Bossy now. That would have been a little bit of a stupid move to try that, as Adams on those softs lifting off, and there we go, back on full throttle and back into the podium places for Adams. Cassidy leading by Noldus, by Adams, by Goggs. Yet to pit though is Goggs. Yet to pit though is Calvin. Round the outside goes Mindful Wasp on Goggs. What a move by Mindful Wasp. Fair play. As Bossy Gaiman. Oh no, a little bit of wide moment there. That's going to affect him a little bit. Calvin still out. And he's really extending this stint as long as he can to try and hope for a safety car. If a safety car does come out, that will really, really help him. But if it does not, it's all for naught. And as there's contact there nearly for Upkarsh and Wiggles, as off the track nearly goes to Wiggles. He's going to be on the inside. He's on the grass, and he's not going to get that move done. Goggs finally been overtaken by Bossy Gaiman. There's Wasp outside of a second of Adams. Wiggles and Upkarsh still fighting for this P7 spot, as Dan, P14 at the minute, trying to fight back up to where he was. Obviously undercut. Same for Mansell, they were all undercut. But depends if those cars can actually last, those tyres can last to the end of the race. I think now if you're Calvin, you've got to pit. It's 11 laps to go, 10 laps to go. Let's see what he can get done. Noldus now fastest lap of the race as he chases down that Red Bull. And into the pits. There we go, Goggs and Calvin both in. Hoping for a safety car. Did not pay off. And now they're going to have to fight back a little bit more to get back in towards the top 10 where they were when they pitted. Wiggles there, Upkarsh there, Keith and Mansell closing in.
Noldus has closed in big time on that Red Bull, and he might even make a move down in towards turn 10. Let's see. Turn 7, turn 8, turn 9. Let's see the grip he has over that Red Bull. It's just about the same. And here we go. Here comes Noldus in towards turn 10. He's going to back out. He's going to decide to play it safe for another few corners in that 38. That could cause a little bit of... there we go. He's done it. As Noldus will take the lead down this main straight in towards turn 1. It'll be Noldus taking the lead back from Cassidy, as Cassidy on his debut in Div 2 is currently on track for a podium. Bossy Gaming has Mark Waite gets a penalty there. Utkarsh is closing in on him. Utkarsh going for that P5. Bossy is not going to get anywhere near that P4 in my opinion. I think those tyres too far gone already. A driver to watch cut through the field will be probably Calvin. Bossy again. Little slide. It's not going to help him. Calvin and Gogs, they'll be two to watch on the softs. New softs, of course. 10 laps to go, 9 laps to go. Enough time to pull in towards Dan and them in P10. Let's just hope for no safety cars, of course, though. As you'll probably see an abundance of them tomorrow night in Div 1. Bossy Gaming there, struggling. Utkarsh in the DRS. Utkarsh should get past him into turn 1 with a good enough exit from these last two corners, as that actually looks like a McLaren is going to give Bossy the DRS. Maybe. Just Bossy got the DRS, he does, and that's going to help him and save him for another lap. As Utkarsh swerving down the straight to try and get that toe from Bossy. Bossy trying to get that toe from the left car of Ellie. As Vicar and not Vicar, Dan and Preb fighting, didn't even notice that one. As I'm just focused on this big battle with the 4 or 5 cars here. Mansley's going to be an interesting one. Utkarsh quicker than Bossy, as Wiggles is quicker than Bossy too. All of them around the same pace. Let's see what can happen. As Doran pits for maybe even fastest lap there for Doran. So we'll see what he can get done. Calvin promoted a place for that. As Utkarsh, here we go. Down the main straight. This is actually quite a big fight behind here. Here comes Keeps. Here comes Mansell. Mansell makes contact with the pair of them as Wiggles gets kind of a pile drive there, as he loses the DRS on Utkarsh and Bossy Gaming. As that 3-1 never goes. 2-1 very rarely goes. As 3-1 never goes through that corner especially. No DRS Wiggles, and that is going to be an easy position for Keith. He's just going to breeze past them. Speaking of breezing past, it's not much of a breeze past, but Utkarsh is going to go round the outside of Bossy, banging wheels, as there is contact, there's big contact, both of them go off the track, and Keith has made up 3 positions in one straight. P5 for Keith, lovely for him. Wiggles there, Keith 6, Calvin with the penalty there, and Mansell is fighting the pair of them. As that contact was inevitable between those two, fighting hard all race. They've already made contact earlier in the race. You just knew it was going to happen, so depending on where it was going to happen. And it was lap 26, turn 2. Turn 1/2, let's say. As here comes Mansell. Will he make a drive this time, or will he be patient? He's going to be patient, as he learns his lesson from last lap, where you've always got to be patient, unless you can go around the outside here, which will be a bold move and a tall order. And you know what? He might have done it, but no, he is not. As 6 laps to go, Adam's in the DRS now of Cassidy. Mr. Wiggles is in DRS of Keith. Here comes Mansell. There goes Mansell up to P6, and it's a nice position for him
to gain over the Alfa Romeo.
There we go, I'm just trying to look up and down the field, trying to find any battles. Bossy and Upcharge, this seems like it's going to be quite a feisty one as we approach the end of the race. Of course, twice they've made contact this race. Both times one car ended up in the gravel, or both cars ended up in the gravel. One of them was one of them, and there goes Cass as he lets through the Williams. So you know what, he's not going to let through the Williams, he's going to try and fight back that Williams, and it's not going to work as the Williams of Adams up to P2. Mansell, can he fight enough to get Keith? No, he can't. Cassidy will get enough speed through these last two corners to have a go at Adams down the main straight. Will keep enough of a gap to Mindful Wasp to fight another few laps. See Cass, no, not close enough for a move. Mansell, well, he'll be more than close enough for a move. Depends if Wiggles is close enough for a move as well. And that would be a big fat no. Of course, and Bossy, they were close enough for a move. As those two fight again towards turn 1. As Calvin in the DRS of Gisselodian down in P14 and P15. Cassidy just hanging on to Adams there. And you know what, he might hang on another straight or two. And he will hang on another straight at least to the Williams. Yeah, Scott's driving really well here. He's on course for a podium. Just needs to hold off Wasp a few laps extra and just stay with Adams for a couple of laps too. There's Keith there with Mansell, not close enough. Wiggles as well. Not close enough to Keith. Upcharge is going to be close enough to Bossy though to make a nice little move into towards turn 1. See what can happen here. DRS wide open for him. No ERS comes in play as they've both got none. Into turn 1, let's see what Upcharge will do. He's going to try and brake later. He's going to have to try and back out of that one, as he's not going to make the move cleanly into turn 1. As there is, speaking of turn 1, here comes turn 1, here comes Calvin, here comes Gisselodian, and there goes Calvin. And there goes Gisselodian in towards turn 1. That's going to be Calvin taking P14 back, and it's going to be on a charge for P13 now, with a few laps to go. Gogs on the same set of tyres though, same age of tyres as well. Wiggles there, falling out of a second of Keith, might fall into the arms of Bossy Gaming, who is actually, of course, is starting to fall out of, and he's got the Vicar praying behind him for that last, for P9 even, sorry, not that last top 10 finish, but it's going to be P9. Keith holding on really well there. Same for Cassidy. I think is they don't need to fight. They just need to hold on a few laps and then they can fight on maybe the final lap. Wiggles, DRS just. Upcharge and Bossy are going to fight into turn 1 once again by the looks of things. No, not close enough. For Upcharge, as Cassidy still. It's an absolutely amazing try for Cassidy if he gets a podium. He has to play for him. As he'll come home in a nice position and a nice haul of points to start his season off and possible title challenge off. I'll just running away with it at the minute though. 6 seconds is the gap. Since he overtook Cassidy, has not looked back. Since he overtook Mindful Wasp, has not looked back either. As a Mindful Wasp dropped from pole to P4 at the minute, maybe able to salvage a podium in these final 3 laps. As Keith just hanging on to Mansell, might not be enough to get it this time. See, oh, it does sound horrible to be fair. Upcharge there. Close enough to Bossy this time to get a move, as he's obviously on the mediums there, quicker
then those hards, depends on how quick they are after so much time. Bossy into a turn one, it's going to hold them up another straight. And that's going to be frustrating for Ukarsh in P9. As Calvin not making much of an indent into that gap on Gogs. Gogs not making much of an indent on that gap on Preb either. So let's just see. I think that this is really the only battle that's going on, apart from maybe Cass, who's just staying. Not even fighting the battle with Cass, it's just to keep those tyres working and to keep those tyres to make it to the end and keep those tyres in the RS range of Adams. As we'll see, slide again, and that's going to lose it. There we go, DRS has been lost. Lap 32, 2 to go for Cassidy. And a 2-second gap for My for Wasp to chase down. As Keith, 5-10 Spark, might be able to make a move into turn 1. Let's see. Ukarsh as well, he's going to be making a position up already from the penalty, so he might just sit back, avoid taking any risks. Of course, Wiggles there, wanting to take a risk and get past Keith, which he cannot do at the nerve, of course. There's Magic. Is no, not Magic, sorry. Ukarsh there, still in Bossy Gamer's range, DRS range, as Keith is in the range of Mansell. And let's see, as these three enter the final lap, My for Wasp needs to make up at least 4 tenths in this final sector at the very least, to just get into DRS of Cassidy and open up a chance of him making a move down into turn 10, and it's not going to happen, and it might just be enough for Cassidy to hold on to that podium. As Cassidy pushing his absolute mightiest to get a podium that has been a long time in the making. Dorami has spun or made contact as Adams just there ahead of Cass. My for Wasp is behind Cass, just Keith and Mansell pushing tooth and nail. I don't think Keith has got enough to get that P5. He will correct me if I'm wrong, and he will probably show me I'm wrong through turn 10. All the ERS saved up, you just got to use it all now. Not much is saved though, as My for Wasp is pushing in for that DRS. Not enough though. And My for Wasp will come on P4 by the looks of things here, as Mansell and Keith still fighting for that P6. P5 even, and P6 as well. It's going to be Mr. Wiggles, who might even make a little lunge in towards that turn 10. And we'll have a look at the timings, as it's going to be Noldes to win. The first race of the season is season 15 for Div 2. Adams will be second, Cash will be third, just the My for Wasp. And it will be, yeah, there we go. It's going to be P1 for Noldes, P2 for Adams, P3 for Cass, 4th for My for Wasp, 5th for Mansell, P6 for Keith, 7th will be Wiggles, 8th will be Ukarsh, 9th will be Vicar, 10th will be Bossy Gamer, 11th will be Spinning Dan, 12th will be Preb. Gogs has came home in P13, P14 for Calvin in that Red Bull, P15 for Dislodian, P16 will be Mad G once he comes around these final corners. Ellie and Mark in P19 and 20, the only two to not finish on the lead lap. Doran will come home just behind him in P17, and Sonic Hawk will be the last one to cross the line. So congratulations to Noldes on his first win this season in quite dominating fashion. 7 seconds to the next nearest car. So fair play to him. As we'll just see on we can get these drivers in for interviews.
Adams, isn't it? Yeah. As I'll invite the drivers to the interview now. As I'll have Cassidy, Noldus, and Adams. As interviews have been sent, interview requests have been sent there. As Noldus is your race winner this evening, followed by Adams, Cassidy, Myforce, Mansell, Keith, Wiggles, Utkarsh, Vicker, Bossy Gaiman, Energy Dan, Preb, Gogs, Calvin, then it'll be Giselodian, Mad G, Doran, Aston Martin of Sonic Hawk, Ellie and Mark in P19 and 20. Full finish and a full grid tonight, and it will hopefully be like this all season. Nice and close, of course. Hopefully with a closer battle for the lead. But it was really still an exciting race. No complaints from me. As I believe we have Justin Alderson at the minute, just waiting on the other two. It's just waiting on the other two now, I think. Where do we go? Showroom, that's it. Just waiting on Cassidy, as I don't believe Adams will be able to join us. Just waiting on Cassidy now. As we'll see. And until then, we'll just start with your interview, Naldus. Congratulations, first of all, on winning the first race of the season. Do you feel you can go for the championship now with such a commanding win? Yeah, of course, it's a good start to win by 7 seconds with the fastest lap, of course, I believe. So you should get the full points from this race. Yeah, that was a really interesting race, of course. You getting past Matthew Wasp, I could see you were pushing your absolute hardest. You started P4, I believe, was it, or P5? P3, yeah. Yes, you were P3 and you went off the road. What happened in the same one? I saw you went off the road. Yeah, you avoided absolute carnage through that same one. Yeah, it should be obviously qualifying. That was interesting. Just missing out on pole. I don't think you got a final lap in, did you? Uh, yeah. Honestly, I think it should be a really interesting season, and with you and Mount Wash, both will be fighting tooth and nail for this championship. And on to the next race, of course, we've got Austria. What do you think of Austria? Do you like the track, or? Yeah, of course. It's interesting to think a chance of wet, like a chance of rain next race. What are your thoughts on driving in the wet around Austria? Do you like it, or? Yeah, of course. And just off of this race alone, who do you think your championship rivals will be this season if you do indeed fight for the championship? Yeah, and of course you had to pit him down, and you were about 6 seconds behind Cassidy in P2. What were your thoughts going through your head? Did you know you were going to catch him? Did you have that hunch that it'll just come to me? I'll just get him past it naturally, or were you pushing? Yeah. I completely forgot to ask before. Have you got your voice set to Shane? Because I've just got a message saying can't hear you. Yeah, they can't hear you. That's a rookie mistake. It's been a long time since I've done solo comms. No, yeah, congratulations on your win, mate. Hopefully next time we won't have this because I don't want to take up too much of your time. So, congratulations on your win, and on to Austria, where hopefully you hope to repeat, and I hope to see some good battles. Thank you for joining me, and thank you all for watching this season opener in SFR. It's going to be Austria next week, and of course Spain tomorrow in Division One, with a lot of exciting drivers. Of course, MDJ and Laser going back at it for the Div 1 title, with a few of the other late joiners from last season, and of course me, who's probably going to cause a safety car. But anyway, that is it for this week. Go check out the website and the Instagram and the Facebook, and we will see you all tomorrow for Division 1.